Those of you who are doing a test bed before wiring up your operatories for multi-camera views, I thought I'd put this together that may help you get through the next step. The next step is learning how to use the ATEM Mini and Resolve software to really provide compelling video from various angles of you working with your team in your operatory. And once you go through this process, you'll start to understand how incredibly powerful it is in creating a team dedicated to excellence. So what I've done here is I've created a second test bed in my lab just because it's easier to show some of these things with the ATEM Mini and the ATEM software control. So if you look at this view, you can see there's a camera behind me. So I have basically in this ATEM Mini, I have 4 inputs, 3 GoPros, plus I'm outputting the output from one of my monitors that has the ATEM software control loaded into it. So just to review, in the ATEM Mini, you have control over which view you are showing. For example, I'm going to press all of the 4 inputs and go through them one at a time. This view is the GoPro that's sitting on a monitor right in front of me. I press 3, and that shows the monitor view with the ATEM software, and we're going to talk a lot about the ATEM software control. The next view is a GoPro sitting above one of the monitors that lets me really show the ATEM Mini in great detail as we use it. And then the last view is the camera behind, so you can get an overall view of what my second test bed is really like. And the monitor high above everything else is showing the program out. So when you look at the ATEM Mini ISO, it's easy to be overwhelmed with all these buttons. You don't have to know what any of these buttons do except 2. Other than the 4 buttons here are choose which input you're going to use. And the only other 2 buttons you need to be aware of is the program button, which is right here, or the multi-view, which is right here. If I press the multi-view, it shows the multi-view, and that's the view that your assistant will have. If I go to that view, that's the view on the large monitor that shows all of the outputs in it shows all of the outputs that are being led into the ATEM. And they're all being recorded on your SSD disk right here. So to review, you have your 4 inputs, and as you press these, you get that view. If I press the multi-view, I can see all 4 outputs on the large monitor, and I can control the view that I see either by physically pressing, or I can control the outputs from the computer. And this is what the assistant will do. She has control, or the assistant has control from the software control. So it's very, very powerful. You have what's called a program view, and this is the view that's being output to your SSD right here. Then you have the preview view down below, and that's kind of like the batter's box. This is what's coming up next. For example, if I select GoPro 3 and I activate this, it moves over to GoPro 3. So I can do that in software. GoPro 1. So I think you can see how powerful this is. And what you need to do is you need to take your test bed and experiment around with how the software works, how switching between the program and preview and multi-view works before you get into the operatory. Do it in the test bed, and it doesn't take long. You can become familiar with how this works very, very quickly. 20-30 minutes of time spent switching the various views, using the slider bar. And then when you go to the YOP, you'll hit the ground running. Now I've been recording this. When you record it from the software control. And when I stop it, that stops the recording. And then we'll take the ATEM or the SSD with all the files on it. And I'll show you in step 5 how to bring them in to the Resolve software.